Sup, YouTube? This is Big D and Shade, and today we have a guest with us. We have Midgie.
Hello.
And today we are doing our preseason thoughts for fall of 2015. And there's a lot of shows that we're going to talk about, so let's get this underway. The first show that I have on my list is YuruYuri. This show is basically a cute girls doing cute things show. I watched this a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, they're finally bringing it back for another season. So I'm excited for it.
You tried to get me to watch this one a while back, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
The animation was nice, and I think they're changing studios. So that right now it's being done by TYO Animations, but they said that the writers, I think, are still going to be working on it. So the animation's going to change, which I'm not. I'll get over that, but as long as the writing stays the same and it still stays as adorable as I remember, I'm gonna like it.
You praise the animation and you're like, yeah, it's probably gonna change, but I'm gonna still get over that. I'm just like, you have a strong connection there. Your connection to it is very, very solid, rock solid there.
Yeah.
Cute things.
It's cute things. I mean, yeah. How can you not? Well, the first one on my list is Concrete Revolution Choujin Gensou. And this looks really good. It's done by Bones, so you know it's got some rock solid animation behind it. But at the same time, the premise for it looks so cool. It kind of reminds me of... now I'm kicking myself. The one with the kid with the eyes that came off of last season. I was telling you about that in the city of New York, or was it?
Kessen-hen.
Yes. It kind of reminds me of that one, only because it has so much. Like there seems such a variety of things going on. They're talking about titans from outer space and life forms from mystical worlds and phantoms and goblins and cyborgs, and all these things are in our world, and I'm like, that just seems like some insanity that's going to be freaking awesome.
Yeah, I think that was done by Bones. The other show you're talking about is also done by Bones.
Really?
So yeah.
Nice.
That's just like a plethora of every anime just rolled up into one neat little spring roll.
It really is, and it sounds freaking amazing. So does a spring roll right now, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with that, because it seems really cool.
I'm gonna have to actually check that one out. That does sound pretty interesting.
Yeah, I didn't really get into Kessen-hen, even though it was a Bones show, and Bones is my favorite. So to make up for that, I'm gonna definitely check this one out. The trailer looked amazing. It has really vibrant colors. So.
Oh, it does, and that kind of reminds me of oh, good lord, No Game No Life.
Yes.
Because No Game No Life had very vibrant colors like that as well.
Yeah, so this show is looking like it's going to be really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the first one I want to talk about, and unfortunately there wasn't a lot of trailers out for it, was Dance with Devils. But it's published by Square Enix. And, I mean, come on. It's one of the best video game producers, in my opinion, you know, for Japanese-based games, but it's basically about a girl who ends up attending an academy and surrounded by demons, and actually falls in love with one of them, and she becomes their object of affection. So I mean, you know, it's one of those typical high school, you know, animes.
The seeming of the bad boys and
Dance with the Vampire Bund, but with demons. So it looks like it might be interesting. It's definitely something that I will at least watch the first episode to see if I like it, and it might be worthy of a second episode. We'll see.
Was it originally a a book or something? Because I think the anime itself is done by...
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Because I think Square Enix might have backed that, but I think the animation is actually going to be done by Brainbase.
Brainbase.
Brainbase!
Yeah.
They're the ones doing Durarara right now.
Yeah. They also did like Blood Lad.
Well, I know their first episode's going to be out next month.
Nice.
So, yeah, not too far of a wait.
Oh, and they also did Natsume Yujon Cho. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So it might be good.
Yeah, no, it could be. It could be. It's a matter of how well they're going to be able to incorporate all that. So, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Certain storylines for certain people in those regards, especially, I don't know. It almost sounds like Dance in the Vampire Bun. It almost sounds like
well, there's a twist to it.
Vampire Knight.
Great. There's a twist to it. Her brother is an exorcist, apparently.
Oh.
So, you know. Well, and
I'm in love with a demon, but my brother's an exorcist. Oh, that's going to go well.
Exactly. That's going to go over really well. And he apparently attends the academy that she's going to that these demons are in. So.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, just don't go into family functions.
Yeah.
Where's this family function at? Oh, it's in a church. Oh, well.
All right, so that sounds interesting. I might have to give that a shot myself, even though I'm not too big of a fan of reverse harems, but Brainbase, I'll check it out. The next show I have on my list is Subete ga F ni Naru. So this show is a detective show.
Oh,
yeah. It is some college age students, which is good. It's not based in high school. And,
or middle school, as some of them are.
Yeah. And some of the people in the lab, they go on a vacation. And during their vacation, they discover a dead body. And then the whole show turns into trying to discover the mystery of all these serial murders that are happening. So a lot of the detective shows nowadays, they're going for the shock factor, like dismembering bodies and stuff like that. And it's not really my interest, but since these characters are older, I feel like it probably wouldn't go that way. It'd be more realistic. And then also this show has a live action drama. And I saw the trailer for it and I'm like, I might have to watch both of those. So I don't know. I don't know which one I want to watch first. It's like the drama is completed. So I guess I could knock that out and then watch the show. Like the anime. But yeah, I'm
about to say, you talking about dismemberment and everything. I mean, there was that, and I started trying to think of the name, and it's killing me again. I can't think of. I'm horrible with names. Everyone out there should know that by now. I'm horrible with names. But that one futuristic one, where they were solving crimes, and they had people like they couldn't. Some of the guns that they had were like they couldn't fire them unless the target was high enough in their... You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about. But it's like, when you said that, I'm like, well, yeah, but there are some animes that do the whole detective with, like, dismemberment of bodies and everything, and I'm like, it still does a pretty decent job.
Well, I guess I'll clarify more. There's two different types. There's the cop detective style, like, Terror and Resonance and like that show. And then there's like Detective Conan and like a bunch of the other ones where the detective is a younger kid. And there was one show this season where I can't remember what it is, but like the main character, he woke up on the ground in a classroom and like a knife in his hand, and then he looked around the class and like his teacher was like chopped up into pieces and like placed in like a chair. Like his body was like built into like a chair, and at first I'm like but then I'm like, okay, it wasn't like super gross, but then the way that the story was revealing itself, I didn't really like how everything flowed. And so it's like I didn't like the characters, and then I didn't really like how the story was revealing itself, so I couldn't keep up with that show. But like Terror in Residence and the other show,
that show, yeah, that show,
yeah, it's more like cop based, so I really like those. But then this one is like college age students, so I feel like they wouldn't.
There was that one, was it something Memories, where it was the girl on an island that had died and she left behind it was something Treasures, that's what it was, because she left behind treasures. And this is a different one now that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but that kind of reminded me of it, because it had they had a young detective in it that was following along with her, trying to figure things out. It was essentially a young Sherlock Holmes almost, except she always inevitably goofed things up.
Psychopaths.
So yeah, that was the other one. That one, yeah.
Yeah, I love the first season of that one.
Yeah, Midget, you want to watch something that is really like, you just go, oh my god, really?
Is that up there on our list of the top 10 animes you probably don't want to see, or you have to see because they're extremely gory and just completely messed up beyond words?
I wouldn't necessarily say. I mean, there were like parts of it, but like it was messed up. It was psychologically messed up, but for a reason.
Right.
So
it was for a reason.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't just like messed up for just being messed up. It was like you were like messed up. You're like, oh wow, this is like some really possibility, like this can happen kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Looking forward to that one and the drama.
All right, so next one on my list, I don't have a lot of information for. There wasn't a lot out, but the little bit of synopsis that they had for it enticed me. But it's Komori-san wa Kotowarenai, and it's the only description for it is the manga revolves around middle school student Yuri, who is too kind and unable to say no when someone asks her for a favor. Okay, that on itself is like, okay, whatever. But the last part of it says, however, she has gained various amazing abilities as a result. I'm like, what type of abilities are we talking about here? I mean, I don't think it's necessarily the wrong way. So I'm just like, that could be interesting on its own. Or like, because she can't say no, like something else happens or something. Like, it could be interesting. Like you were saying, it's going to be like one of those one episode where I'm like, I'm going to watch one episode and I'm going to see what exactly this is about. And if it's good, I'll continue it. But if not, done.
Yeah.
That can go two ways. Abilities.
I know. That's how bad it sounds. But that wasn't necessarily the way I was thinking of it in that sense.
Yeah. The first picture that they had for it, it was just a picture of the girl, and I'm like, whatever. Couldn't find a trailer for it, so I'm like, Then the new picture they have for it, I'm like, more interested. And now that I've like read the synopsis and everything, I don't know. The studio is Artland, which I've never heard of them. Actually,
I was kind of reading that they've done a couple of them that I'm actually familiar with. I never watched it, but they did Mushishi.
Okay.
I know that one came out and it was, and not it. I know this one, and I watched a couple episodes but it wasn't something necessarily that caught my attention overly much. But it was Ichiban Ushiro no Daimyo, which is basically the guy who he rolled in a magic academy and he's discovered he's the next like demon king.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. Apparently that studio did that as well.
Okay, this is really interesting because the one I really want to talk about is Valkyrie Drive. It's not only an anime that's coming out, but also a big video game. And they announced it at the Anime Japan convention this year. And the video game is going to be out in December, I believe, this year. And they're also going to have, it's going to be on the PlayStation Vita. Mm-hmm. And also it said a smartphone game titled Valkyrie Drive Siren. But the anime, which is produced by ARMS, who also did Queen's Blade.
Oh, God. Oh, God, no. Not Queen's Blade.
That makes total sense.
It actually sounded like it might be pretty good. It also is gonna be out next month, so I'm gonna be busy on Crunchyroll watching these new animes.
So, I saw the trailer.
Did you? Okay.
Yes.
What did you think?
The fighting was amazing. You said ARMS, and I didn't know it was made by ARMS, so half of that made sense, but then the other half, I was like, I didn't know ARMS could make, like, action look that good. But then once the action is over, I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely ARMS. So I'm torn. I'm like right down the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just because Queen's Blade.
I don't know. I'm excited.
So they did Elven Lied as well. I didn't realize that. Huh?
That makes sense.
It does, but it's a lot. That's a lot more. Okay, well, I mean, that was early on in there. I guess
that was early ARMS.
That was early on. Early ARMS was better than later ARMS in that regards because early ARMS didn't focus so much on just tits and abstract sex and shit like that. Seriously, I don't know if you have you actually watched Queen's Blade?
I have not.
Okay. Within like the first couple of minutes, it's like boobs. Lots of boobs.
More boobs.
Oh, yeah. And there's a monster that shoots sticky stuff out of her boobs. Yeah. At that point, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. Like, really? That's what you're going to go with? Really?
Oh.
What?
I'm mixing that show up with something else.
What?
What was that show with the breastfeeding alchemist?
Oh, you're talking about, was it Psycho no Quasar?
Yeah, Quasar. That's what. Wait, they probably did that one too.
I don't know. Oh, really? Wow. Well, okay. I might have to give it a shot because apparently they did Gokuko no Brynhilde.
What?
Yeah.
That was
ARMS.
way toned down.
That was ARMS.
Ah, and they did Himawari too. Okay, I'm giving it a shot. They've done some of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
That trailer scares me though. I'm like, please don't be like that the whole show.
Well, I mean, you know, trailers are usually good interpretations of what the anime is going to be. So. Sometimes they are. Not all the time, but the anime version of that is the Valkyrie Drive Mermaid because there's 3 of them. So the Mermaid is the actual anime.
Okay. Cool.
All right, so What's next on your list there, Big D?
The next show I have is One Punch Man.
Yeah, I did not have an interest in this one.
So,
I didn't even necessarily look deeply into it. I looked at the main character and went, "Are you serious?
Nope.
Are you serious?" He looks like an anime character reject. That's what he looks like. I'm like, I bet you that's his only facial expression. I bet you that's his only facial expression.
So, after watching the trailer, out of all the trailers this season, this is probably the most thematic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The most thematic trailer. Where like it slowly warms up and then gets into it and then goes off and does its own little comedy thing. So, I've never heard of this before. Apparently it's a really popular manga, and the main character, he's super overpowered, like super duper overpowered, and that's the point of him, is to be super overpowered. He's trained so hard that all of his hair is falling out. and
I'm just imagining like Goku just like,
it's like black, then yellow, then blue, then gone.
Oh my gosh.
So now he is so strong that any villain that shows up, he knocks him out in one punch. And it's gotten to the point where he's bored because there's nothing at all to challenge him. And he's just kind of frustrated with life. So it's kind of a mix of like super overpowered hero and comedy. So I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
I'll have to wait until you watch it a bit and see what you say. I don't think I'm even going to try on this one because I'm just going to look at him and go, dude, really? You're too ridiculous. Just stop. Just stop.
So yeah. It's Madhouse, so it's going to look really good.
Except for his, I can almost see they're going to, I'm fixated on his freaking, and I shouldn't be, but I'm fixated on his freaking look. I'm like, there's going to be a time where he's going to like turn or go outside and it's going to be like shining off of his head. I can see it. They're going to do that typical anime thing where it's like, what is that glimmering off in the distance? And it's like his bald head.
Yeah.
Well, next on my list is N Masques. This one, the battle action novel series revolves around, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, a young man who is part of the last remaining order of knights in the 21st century, Knights of the World. As he fights the mysterious Knight Lancer, he must hide his identity behind a mask. I mean, it sounds like it could be interesting, and the animation style looks pretty cool with it. I didn't necessarily see a trailer for it, but I mean, it is done by Studio Gokumi, sorry. And I can't necessarily say there's too much that I've seen from them.
They've done two of my favorite cute girls, cute things shows.
Really?
A Channel and Kinito Mosaic. If it's as adorable as those two shows, I'm definitely watching it.
Well, I guess I will have to let you know about that one because it at least caught my attention. But we'll have to see about whether or not it's actually... I might just pass that one off to you and be like, yeah, you can take this one. And it seemed like it'd be interesting, but hey.
Might be worth at least a couple shows. I know that this is not anything new, but I am really excited for season 2 of Excel World.
Okay.
I am. I'm really excited for it. And there's a lot of talk about it possibly coming out this year because they're done doing their Sword Art Online and the studio's not all that busy. So there's talk about it possibly being this year. It's going to be October soon, so hopefully. And then to add with that, Outbreak Company is supposed to have another one too coming up, I think next year. I really like those two, and I'm sad that they're not out yet. Bugs me.
Yeah.
Just big deal. They go, yeah.
Yeah, those are two shows that I really like too.
And it really frustrates me because it's such a good anime and they have such a huge following. I don't know why they're putting it on the back burner for a new project. That, come on.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of times in those cases, it ends up being where the studio wants to try to... It's a matter of putting as many irons in the fire as you possibly can. And it's not to say that they've given up on it. It's just... And they probably know they have a huge following with it. It's just they're like, okay, let's get all of these shows up and running, and then we'll start heading back and redoing or going over new seasons for the shows that are hitting and having a fan base for. So at least that's just my thought on it.
It's probably true.
Okay. Well, the next show I have on my list is K Return of Kings. This show was really good. The first season came out a few years ago, and I started watching it seasonally, but then I kind of drifted off, and then when it was over, I finished it up, and I'm kind of glad I did because there was a lot of drama happening towards the end. It's basically there's this student council group that that keeps track of all the delinquents, and in this world there's 7 kings, and they all have like really superpowers. And from what I remember, not everybody knew where all the kings were. And there was 2 really popular kings that were always dueling back and forth. And the student council group would always come in and like separate them out. But then towards the end of the series, they started revealing more and more. And I can't remember if they revealed all the different kings, but from the trailer, it looks like everybody is out in the mix, and the animation on the trailer is crazy. It's super stylized, super colorful. The trailer for the first season was something that really stuck with me because it was kind of following this character on a skateboard, and he would like jump and grind off of different things, and the camera just followed him really closely. And the trailer for this second season is in the same vein, except instead of following him with the skating, it's following everybody during the fight. And there was so much going on, I couldn't remember who was who, what was happening, but I'm really excited because I really liked the first season.
Not surprised you can't remember. You couldn't remember anything going on when Durarara first came out, so
yeah, you
had to rewatch that.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to do a rewatch on this one too.
I mean, it's one I started watching, but I couldn't. It's not that I couldn't. It's just there was so many other things I was doing and watching that I'm just like, I'm gonna wait on this one. So I think I watched like the first 2 episodes of it or something. Mm-hmm. So look good.
Yeah.
Well, for me, the next one on my list is also a second season, which is Noragami Aragoto. And yes, this one was really cool. I enjoyed it a lot. I like those that kind of take an aspect of a I guess almost a supernatural twist on things, where you have this lesser known god who is trying to get more of a following so he can gain more power, more wealth, more notoriety, and he's doing this by essentially hiring out his services as pretty much anything and everything, whatever whatever job you need. I mean, I saw him doing something as simple as cleaning the guy's bathtub out at one point. Yeah, he was just like, it doesn't matter what it is, he'll do it. You call on him, he will answer. But then, like, at the same time, he deals with a lot of the supernatural aspects, like, absentee spirits that are running amok and such like that. And then you have other factions that are trying to go after him. And yeah, there's a girl character that's kind of his sidekick. It's only because, like, he saved her during an altercation, but during the altercation, somehow I guess she almost died in a way, and now her spirit can actually come out of her body, and it takes on a like a cat aspect to it. Oh, it was because I think she saved a cat or something like that in the altercation. So then her spirit kind of took upon that, and so whenever she leaves her body, it's like it's more of kind of a cat, but it has like greater reflexes and greater speed and strength and stuff like that because of it. Okay. But it's kind of interesting because it kind of reminds me of Bleach in that way, because she'll just leave her body and you'll just see this crumpled body on the ground. And, like, people have gone by going, is she okay? Is she fine? And they're like, she's fine. Don't worry about it, because they can't see her. They just see her body laying crumpled on the ground. So it was an interesting anime, and it kind of ended abruptly. So I'm glad that they're. I mean, it wasn't like one of those where it was the season literally went cut like it did in Log Horizon. Mm-hmm. But it was like one of those where, like, everything kind of at the end, the last 2 episodes are like, okay, let's just jam as much as we can in there and just say we're good and done. And I'm like, highly looking forward to it. And again, this is another one. See, now you see what you did to me. You turned me into this. Now this is another one by Bones. So, should know the look's going to be awesome for it. Highly looking forward to that.
This one, unfortunately, there's not a lot out there on it, but it has a huge novel following. Owarimonogatari. But I know it's a combination of a comedy, mystery, supernatural. It's about these kids in a high school setting, of course. But it's not the typical high school setting. It's more of they end up somehow going back in time in a way, and he finds things relative to his past. So it's one of those mystery. It actually sounds pretty good, and I don't know if I want to go out and manga for it and maybe read it before it comes out, but it's supposed to be out.
Oh. I don't know why. I always...
Taylor's down, though, so there's no...
Okay, you said Owarimonogatari, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know why I always forget about this. It's because this is actually a
Shoshin book?
Well, there's a couple of different series of this, and I keep not remembering them, because the only thing that connects them in the title for them is they all have Gatari done at the end of it.
Yeah. Yes. There's
I watched like the first 2 variations on this, and I think I was like halfway through the 3rd variation on it. and I think I ended up inadvertently like flipping two of them. Like, I watched the first one for sure, but I think I watched the third one after, and then I started watching the second one, and that's why I was like, "Why is this doing? Why are these people?" And then it's like now things are starting to make sense. But I would totally need to rewatch that because and hopefully in order, so I could be like, "Okay, this is how things progress. This is what was going on." But it was really cool, and I really enjoyed that one because, like you said, there was a lot involved in it, and it dealt with at least the original series, dealt with a kid who had basically formed a contract with a vampire, and all sorts of craziness ended up happening to him. And because he had a form of like immortality, and he got so like, there were so many like weird and interesting creatures. I'm gonna say creatures because they were still human, but they had like creature aspects to them. I know one of them like literally ripped him apart, and they had to put him back together. Okay. I mean, he had like freaking, what was it, during the fight? I just remember because I remember it's so ridiculous. Like during the fight, he ended up like getting someone kicked a hole through him, and he started like the impact of it sent him flying, and his intestines were coming out, and the thing grabbed his intestines like a yo-yo and pulled him back to hit him again. And I was like, God damn, let him rest. He's done. You've done your job. Holy crap.
No, not done yet.
Shit. But I mean, that was like indicative of like everything that was going on. And then, like you said, the time travel thing too.
Yeah. Well, I think it's rated NC-17 or something. I mean, it's rated R.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because it gets pretty horrific and graphic in a lot of ways. But like then he meets there's this little girl ghost that he ends up meeting, and there's like his sisters believe themselves to be like superhero crime fighters. So like they go around righting wrongs in their hometown and stuff like that, and it's just so much ridiculousness.
See, but you have like this huge progression of character development, and that's, I think, what makes a good anime is it constantly keeps you guessing and it keeps you wanting more.
Oh yeah.
And it's that anime that it's like 11 o'clock at night and you have to get up early the next morning and you're like, just one more episode. And then by the next time next thing you know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you know you're going to be dead tired. And it's like, do I call in sick and watch the rest of them? Or do I just, force myself to turn it off? So.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I enjoyed it a lot. It's definitely one of those that you really have to pay attention to and keep track of, because if you blink twice, you're gonna miss something. You'll be like, wait, why are they doing that? Yeah, why is this person here?
Go get popcorn in the middle of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, that's on my very top thing to watch this coming up month. So.
Cool. Let's see. Next show I have is Heavy Object. I am not really a big mech fan, but
neither am I.
But from this trailer, the first trailer was a teaser because it did a whole text scroll like Star Wars, and then it had a conversation, and then it ended before it showed anything. And then I found another trailer where it actually showed the Heavy Object. And it looks kind of silly, but really cool at the same time.
I'm iffy. I really am. I mean, it again, yeah, it looks, but I mean, like you said, I'm not one for mech animes as much. Very few that have come out have I been like, oh yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. So like with all mech anime, I'm gonna give it the first episode because there are some that I do love. Like from the Gundam series, there's MS 8th Team. So I watched that in high school and I loved it. It's like guerrilla warfare and real robots. But one that I liked in the recent couple of years has been Gundam 00. That one was really, really cool. Usually I don't keep watching the show because of something in it, but hopefully it's something that will grab my attention, and it's not a humanoid robot, so that's a little different. So I'm ready to see what it's like.
I'm looking through it. It's done by JC Staff.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they've done some good ones in the past, like Index and such. But I'm trying to look through. I don't really see them doing any mech animes. Which that kind of worries me a little. Oh, they did Dungeon, too. Oh, and they're doing Food Wars as well.
Oh.
Yeah, they're the ones behind Food Wars.
Okay, so that might actually be good.
Yeah, but I don't see any.
Because I'm addicted to that one.
I don't see any mech animes from them though. So I'm like, if this is their first venture into that, I'm a little worried. I mean, I'm just kind of.
You can do it.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Well, the next one I have on my list is yet again another sequel, which would be Owari no Seraph.
Yeah.
This is one we've talked about when we watched in the past, which I was iffy on.
Yup.
And like it's one of those where it was oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay, now they stopped that. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, and then now they stopped that. You know, and it's like it's a freaking roller coaster on that anime. But it wasn't until the very end that I'm like, oh yeah, that's some craziness. I mean, to give you some perspective in it there Midgie, it's basically a war between humans and vampires, because like humans have been decimated, vampires are in real life, and there's a war going on between humans and vampires, and basically in order to fight against this, humans have gotten weaponry that has been possessed by demons. So there are demon weapons that will, because most weapons will either not have an effect on them, on vampires, or it's like they could heal pretty easily from it. Whereas these weapons, because of their impact and everything, I mean, they have alternate effects, but the biggest effect is the fact that when they hit, they're going to die. Is pretty much how it comes down to. But of course, so each of them is possessed by a demon, so each of the wielders of it, has essentially kind of a demon running around inside their head for the most part. I mean, which is kind of scary in its own right, but the thing about it is like at the very end, one of the things, and I'm going to stop before I spoil too much, but one of the things that happens at the very end is the main character, you kind of get the picture of inside his head, and there's his weapon in the ground, and his demon is like, because it's a kind of I'd say a little girl, but you know, it's a very petite girl. It's just kind of standing on top of the hilt of the sword, and it's a barren landscape, just nothing but like rocky whatever. It's completely flat, and it's in the clouds in the distance, and there's just like some thundercloud coming towards them, and he walks up to her and goes, you know, is that your doing? And she's like, no, that's not my doing. That's your doing. And then after that, all hell breaks loose. And it just becomes a huge, like, yeah, it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
One of those big teasers at the end where you're just like, what the hell happened? Why? I'm just hoping they continue from where they left off and keep the same pace and intensity as they had. It's like, don't drop off like you did and keep going with this roller coaster that we had. I'm like, no.
We gotta do some more training, guys.
Like, they can't. I don't know why. It's just they can't do training for some reason. And it's Wit Studios. These are the same people who did Attack on Titan.
Yep. Well, some people complained that had bad pacing too. So.
Oh well.
I liked it.
I'm probably gonna get chastised for this, but I didn't really care for Attack on Titan. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. It was just one of those. I know people are probably going, "What? How dare you say that? Burn her!" Yeah, I'm sorry.
Hey, there's an anime for everyone, but it doesn't mean everyone has to like every anime. So
that's true. It's like a lot of people like Bleach, and I can't stand that one.
Looking forward to season 2. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background. People making deals with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know who's a good guy. Don't know who's a bad guy. Don't know if that's the only crazy person. There might be other crazy people.
Yeah. It seems to be one of those situations where there's probably... Because it's like, there's their side, and there's probably the truth somewhere in the middle. But, so basically they're both right and they're both wrong at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't think either side has clean hands in this ordeal.
That one really strong dude was a vampire lord, right?
Yeah.
Was he there at that last fight?
Yeah.
I can't... Okay. Oh. Never mind, then.
and he backed away. Midgie, anything else you got?
Well, my last one, and I kind of saved the best one for last because I just think that this is going to be absolutely hilarious. There's so many places for it to go, and that is the Shomin sample one, and I don't have the other thing up, so I can't link to the actual title or the studio.
That...
Orega Ojou-sama Gakkou Shomin sample.
Yes.
Toshite
Gets-Sareta.
We're just going to call it Shomin sample because that's a really long title.
It is a very long title. However, I want to say the studio was Silverlink?
Silverlink, yep.
Yeah, okay. Okay. You know, it's not your typical high school anime one because there's a couple things in there that kind of give it a little bit of an edge. And I don't want to give too much away, but it's an all-girls school, essentially, upper class girls. And they've been sheltered for so long that, you know, the elders have decided that they need to, instead of just exposing them to the outside world, they decide to bring in a boy in order to get them used to the outside world, but they believe he's gay. And so he realizes that they think that he's gay, and so he decides to play along with it because the alternative would be castration.
Oh! Like, y'all brought me here.
So now he's stuck with playing along with this little charade, and then, you know, he gets all this attention from these girls, and he can't do anything about it because he's gay.
He's so, like, no.
Yeah, right. So I see a whole lot of comedy and, you know, just awkward, funny situations there.
Oh, I'm sure. But, you know, the minute you mention castration, I don't know about you over there, Big D, but I'm like, oh, I cringe.
So yes, he plays a homosexual with a muscle fetish, and he's really not. So this ought to be interesting.
Wow.
And it also comes out next month, so all these are going to be, you know, I'm going to be very busy next month. I'm just going to lock myself in the house and watch anime for an entire weekend. So.
So, after looking at Silverlink, I see that they like the color pink.
They do.
Oh my
They
god.
really do. But I will say that at least they did Kokoro Connect.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yep.
Oh.
It's on the bottom of their list.
Okay.
Though at the same time, they also did...
That's the one that doesn't have any pink. Maybe that cloud. So.
Yeah, but on the other hand...
There's a couple that don't have pink.
They
I've
did...
seen like 3, at least. Amnesia doesn't have pink.
Yeah. Well, and they did Strike the Blood, too. Nice.
Well, and then, you know, they did the Oni-chan. Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, so.
Oh, that one.
Lots of boobs and bathing.
But I was going to say the one they did as well was the Watashi ga Motone no Wado. The crazy, crazy freaking... Oh my god, I have not seen a girl so awkward in my entire life.
I love that show. That was so funny.
That was just awkward to an insane, painful degree. Where I'm just sitting back going, oh god, no, just no. Don't let her. Oh, why?
Even her brother looked worn out.
Yeah, I would be too. I'm like, are you crazy? No.
After looking at a lot of these shows,
yeah, you know what they did too is Baccano Test.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of cute girl fighting.
Yeah.
She looks interesting.
Could be.
I have a feeling that's going to be one of those marathon animes. See, I hate watching when they first come out. I like finding out about them after there's already a season out there. Because I watch the entire season all at once because I do that.
Some shows are better that way.
Yeah.
Well, next show that I have is Gakusen Toshi Asterisk. This show, it's made by A1 Pictures, so it's gonna be really good.
You're just like calling it. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Done.
I couldn't really tell what the story was from the trailer, but I did like the the designs of the characters and everything. Then once I read the synopsis, it's like this huge disaster happened, and says the humans gathered this new potential. So
it says the whole world was destroyed. Then where the hell are we living?
Yeah.
The whole world was just destroyed, but we're fine. We're cool.
So everything's very vague. All I know is that the characters look cool.
Looks cool.
And it's done with A1 Pictures. So I'm like, it's A1. I don't care how vague it is. I'll check it out.
I don't know. I think you're going to be on your own on that one. I don't know if I can. Again, that's going to be another one. You're going to have to be like, okay, was it good? Is it worth a watch?
I'm going to be like, so the world is still there, but it's in really, really bad shape. Yeah. So as vague as it is, I'm still looking forward to it.
Well, for me, my next one is going to be another one from the same one from Miji over there, Silverlink Studios. Rakudai Kishi no Eiyuutan. It's a school sword action story. Revolves around magic knights, modern magic users who fight with weapons converted from their souls. Character goes to school for these magic knights, but he's a failed knight, or the worst one, who is failing because he has no magical skills. However, one day he's challenged by apparently the top of the top, and in this duel, the loser must be obedient for life.
I
I'm a little curious as to what things are going to happen with that. I mean, is it going to be where he becomes subservient to her, or all of a sudden he gains this magical boost and power because now all of a sudden he has potential for some, getting some action or something? I don't know. But it just seemed interesting, at least. And I guess I'm a stickler for magical knights and such.
Okay.
But it looked interesting. The animation was cool. And again, it's done by Silverlink. So, as you were saying before about the magical fighting girls and such, it's like, well, this definitely seems right there.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
Last one for me is Owarimono Itsuwari no Kamen.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Which is the... I guess it's the continuation of the original. They're kind of vague on that, and the trailer for it was also pretty vague on that as well. So I'm not 100% sure on that. Okay. But it looked pretty well action-oriented, at least from the trailer, and I think one of the main characters I think it's like this time in the future, because it looked like one of the main characters was from a little girl from the previous one. Mm-hmm. So that might be the direction it's taken in. But it's done by White Fox Studios, and they didn't do the original, but ones that they have done, which I think both of us will agree upon were really good, was Jorgemond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one was Akame ga Kill.
Mm-hmm.
And they had another one that I did not finish, but I did watch some on, is Kataragatari.
Oh, yeah, the hour-long one. Yeah.
You remember what I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
That one was really good, too. And again, that's a lot of this, the way they're setting this up looks like there's going to be a lot of action involved, and all of those had really good action sequences in it. So at least the studio, for sure, is capable of some really good action and such. Okay. But I hope at least it carries on with the humor that was involved in that one as well. And the storyline was very deep in the original one. At least I thought. So I really enjoyed that. But I think, and I know it's sad to say, but it's like the bloopers that they had on the original one, I don't think I have laughed nearly as hard on anything anime related as I have on those freaking bloopers. Those were absolutely amazing. So I mean, it's lighthearted and comedic, but it also has a good deal of action. So I hope this studio can pull that off as well.
Okay. This show reminds me of Inuyasha.
I guess I could see that.
Yeah. But, yeah, they've done a really good... This studio's done a bunch of shows that I really like, so I'll check it out.
Well, did you watch the original?
Oh, I gotta watch the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at the despair slowly creep over his face. He's like, "Oh, there's an original." Oh.
I gotta watch K. I can't watch all of this stuff.
I'm hearing a lot of cants over there, Big D. That's unacceptable. We can't do.
Alright, that has been our pre-season thoughts for fall of 2015. And we will see y'all next time.